have no idea how I get on parts of TikTok and find crazy stories or crazy things that are going on in people's lives. But somehow, some way, I do. In today's story, we experience a roller coaster of emotions as a young lady recalls her experience of her niece sleeping with her man. So what's up, my friends? And welcome back once again to the Just Case and Brand. I'm your homegirl, I'm your tia, I'm your prima, I'm your cousin, I'm your friend, I'm whatever you need me to be down here at the Just Case and Brand. What I want you to do, go ahead and like the video because it's going to be interesting. Go ahead, subscribe to the community because the neighborhood is a fun place to be at, and comment your thoughts down below. I don't think this is something that happens often. I don't think this is something that happens outside of 90s Jerry Springer shows and Ricky Lake shows, but it did happen on TikTok. So let's tune in and make sure you follow our homegirl. Her username will be down in the description.
I've been in the house all day binge watching movies, so I was watching Soul Food, and I got to the part where Cousin Faith was, you know, Terry's husband. So it inspired me to get up here and tell my story about my cousin Faith, because I know everybody got a cousin Faith around, regardless if it's a friend, a sister, a cousin, a niece, or whoever. So I got a niece that's the same age as me. Oh, before I start telling my story too, with my last story time about Rent a Center, y'all say that I'm long-winded, I got ADHD, I tell 10,000 mini stories in one story. You have to tell certain details of a story so people can understand the story. Without the details, that's like a pie with no filling. So back to the story. I got a niece that's the same age as me or whatever.
I want to say, dang, to having a niece the same age as her, but at the same time, I have an aunt that's the same age as me. So I really don't want to get too judgy. You know, I don't want to get too judgy.
So she was dating this guy at the time or whatever. He was a younger guy. He was younger than her, but together they had like 4 or 5 kids or whatever. His brother had ended up getting into some trouble. Somebody had came and boom, pew, pew, at the house or whatever. I can't remember if they moved out because they feared for their lives or if the landlord ended up putting them out. All I know is they had to move. So they were staying in hotels or whatever. Dang, with them staying in hotels, they kept applying for cribs, but they kept getting denied. So each night their money is getting lower and lower. I was dating a guy who owned properties or whatever. So I ended up asking my friend or whatever, could he rent a place to them? My niece was like, can you please ask them? I asked him. At first he was like, no, he didn't want to rent a place to them. He don't want to rent the family, all of that or whatever. So I let them stay at my house for a few nights because I was never really home for real. I was always staying at my man's house. But you know, after a while go on, I'm going to come home. So I really needed them to find a place. 2 nights with them being into the townhouse, her boyfriend ends up going to jail. Dang. When he go to jail, I think he was in jail for like 2 weeks or whatever. He ends up getting a bond. When he got out, she was all.
Let me tell you something. If I'm struggling already, there ain't no way I'm getting you out of jail. Ain't no way. We already ain't even got a place to lay our head, and you got the nerve to get caught up in some trouble or a warrant, whatever it may be, and go to jail while we stay in hotels. You gonna have to sit this one down. Okay, I'm sorry. You just gonna have to stay in there a minute until I get a roof over my head. And especially if we got 3 or 4 kids, well, she said 4 or 5 kids between us. Oh no, you gonna have to sit in there for a little bit. I'm sorry.
Already wanted. So she ended up going to jail like literally right after he got out. She sat in jail for probably like, I think like 6 to 8 months, something like that. Woo! The whole time she was in jail, he had women in and out of the house, in and out the house. One day somebody calls me or whatever. This is how I end up finding out. Somebody ended up calling me and was like, go look at such live on Facebook. So the girl was up there on live drinking a Capri Sun and eating fruit snacks in her bed. And she was like, yeah, I'm in this B bed eating her kids fruit snacks, drinking their Capri Suns. Then the other girl got up there and was like, yeah, we just made us another baby in that bed. This is one of his previous baby mamas.
You see how he let her sit in jail 6 to 8 months? Oh, he said, I can't get you out. I can't get you a bond, stink. I can't get you a bond. But she got you out in 2 weeks. You let her sit up in that jail for months? You let her sit up in there for months. When I got out of jail, I would put hands on him, especially if I find video evidence that you was cheating on me too. So you just having a good old time up in the house, and you letting this woman eat my kids' snacks, eat your kids' snacks, and laugh about it online? Who you think you are, sir?
Got her pregnant in the house. So, you know, my niece is in jail, like, going through it, like, oh my God, I can't believe he doing this to me. So, mind you, he had ended up getting sentenced to some time for when he had went to jail and got out on bond. He got sentenced to some time, but he explained to the judge that he was a full-time daddy and that my niece was in jail or whatever. So the judge was nice enough to tell him, like, look, once y'all figure out her time, we can figure out a time when you can come turn yourself in. So once she got sentenced, the judge set it up so that when she come home, he goes in. So when she got out, he had 2 weeks to turn himself in. So I'm telling my niece, like, yeah, you about to dog walk him when he get out. You know, he did you dirty, whatever. She ends up throwing a cookout for him for going away. That's what I thought the cookout was for. So I end up going out there to the cookout or whatever, you know, to see him away. Hey, go do your 2 years in jail. Then it's her turn to have people in the crib. So he somebody ends up
waste of bond money because he just went to jail for 2 years. That's why I would have left him there.
Calling was like, yeah, I see you was at the wedding reception. I'm like, what wedding reception? They like, yeah, your niece had a wedding reception. I said, girl, that was a going away cookout. They said no. That was their celebration because they went down there to the Justice of the Peace and got married. So I called her. I'm like, you married him? You married him? At first she was lying about it. Then she ended up admitting, yes, she did marry him, which I thought was the most stupidest thing ever. So I had kind of fell back from her a little bit. I really wasn't talking to her like that. On top of that, she needed to focus because now the person who pays the bills is going to jail, and then you got a background, so it's not just that easy for you to get out here and get a job like that. So now she got to try to figure out how she gonna pay the bills. I don't want to make the video too long because then it's gonna take too long to upload. Go to part 2 on how I found out my niece was sleeping with my man. Y'all people on TikTok is really crazy. Let me hurry up and tell this story time before I get beat up. Alright, so boom. So months go down the line or whatever. I don't talk to my niece. I wasn't talking to her because I felt some type of way about her getting married after the dude did all of that to her. So she ends up calling me one day, you know, like asking me why she hadn't heard from me, why I wasn't talking to her. I kept everything short, sweet, and simple. So her mom ends up moving down here, which is my sister. Then she was living in Atlanta and she went to the store, came back home. Her boyfriend had died, but that's neither here nor there. So anyways.
We're not just going to breeze past that, okay? Sorry, my camera quality changed because my cell phone died. Anyway, we're not just going to breeze past that. So he ended up dying. Is this the same one that went into the jail?
My sister was living back down here now. I ended up going out one night with my friend. She lived in a different city than me. So she came and picked me up. The plan was for me to stay the night at her house after the club. But once we went to the club, I didn't feel like staying the night. So I ended up calling my sister to see if she happened to be on that side because she hung in that city. So she was like, yeah, she would pick me up, give me a ride home. She come pick me up, I get in the car with her or whatever, and we talking to her, and she telling me how my niece's attitude had been real bad. So I was telling her, like, yeah, because my dude went around there yesterday to go fix her AC, and while I'm on the phone with him, her attitude was real nasty. And she was like, tough, you ain't crazy, put that shit together, sis. Girl, put what together? What is you talking about? She was like, you ain't stupid. I said, what you mean I ain't stupid? I was stupid. I was totally oblivious because I didn't know what the fuck she was talking about.
You would never think either.
So she was like, listen, I don't got no stone facts or whatever. She was like, but I think they messing with each other. So I was like, why you think they messing with each other? So she just started like naming stuff. She was like, he had got her a car. She said that the rent had went from one price. She said he was giving her care credit to get the kids some glasses. He had gave her a gift card to go get some Victoria's Secret. I was like, what? So I ended up calling him, asking him about it or whatever.
Oh my God.
Of course he denied it. I ended up calling her, asking her about it. Of course she denied it. She started downplaying her own mama. This is how I found out for a fact that they were. And I wasn't just speculating. 2 days after I found that out about them, that's when I ended up taking my trip up the road to prison. I went to jail though, you know, of course it took time before I got sentenced to prison or whatever, but
why is everybody in this story going in and out of jail? What are y'all doing over there? How y'all getting in trouble over there? What are these jail visits derived from? What happened?
I had ended up getting locked up or whatever. And while I was in jail, he still never admitted it. But I really wasn't talking to him like that because I knew it wasn't a lie. She ends up being wanted for a murder or conspiracy to a murder. This is how everything was solid that they was dealing with each other. Someone had ended up getting murdered in her house. And when they went on a hunt to go look for her, they ended up kicking in his house because he was the landlord of the house. And I guess they had got word that him and her was, I don't know. All I know is that they found her at his house butt naked. A lot of people in the comments kept asking me to get up here and to do a part 3 of the story about my niece. But it's really not much to part 3 besides he ended up admitting it. I asked him, like, how did y'all even get to that point? He told me he went around her house one day to go fix something, and she was like, you look stressed out, like you need your sup. So
she was forward. So no wonder. First of all, homeboy shouldn't have even fell victim to that trap. Shouldn't have even fell victim to that. He should have peeped the scene and been like, oh no, because you're my girlfriend's niece. That's your aunt. I can't be caught up in this. No, you could have did everything, big dog. You could have did everything to avoid being with this girl. But whatever spirit she done gave you, you deserve, because you decided to cheat on this beautiful woman right here. And I can't believe. So she was planning to kill somebody with people, and then she went to jail too for that as well.
That's how they ended up starting whatever they had. And he really honestly was just a man that just won't about nothing. While I was away, he actually ended up having a baby by one of his kids' mom's best friend. And her and this girl have been best friends forever. And his reasoning for having a baby by his baby mama's best friends was because, and y'all about to really laugh at this, because y'all kept asking, why does everybody end up going to jail? Yep. This the kicker. He ended up going to jail too. He had his stuff together or whatever, but he was a computer maniac. He knew how to get up there and
he started the Chase Bank scandal. If you ain't seen that video, go watch it. He started the Chase Bank scandal. So he up there scamming on the internet. Look at all this stuff I got. Look at all this stuff I got. The police said, what? Come on, you too. You part of the clan. You part of the prison gang too. Come on, let's go. Go to jail.
Make it do what it do. He made one of his baby mamas mad, and they called the feds on him and told the feds everything that he had going on.
Whenever you date men, it's always so important to ask them about their baby mamas, what the relationship is with their baby mamas, all that stuff. Because imagine you with a scammer, and I'm not saying anybody should be with a criminal, but get it how you live. Let's say, y'all having a nice lifestyle, he's the one who's funding it, and then she get mad at him because they ain't never had no good relationship because he done bought you a car. Now all of a sudden he in jail and you can't keep up with the payments on the car or the house, and she just laughing and gloating like, yeah, now what? Ha 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 ha. And you like, dang. Now what I gotta do? Now I gotta go to real work? Now I gotta go to real job? Ugh. Always got to make sure that baby mama, baby daddy relationship is already ironed out, worked out good, all of that. Because if there's some drama, big dog, you gotta handle that before you can date me. You gotta handle that. I can't be involved in all of this baby mama, baby daddy drama. You need to have boundaries and all that other type of shit set up before we get together.
So when he go to court, he ends up getting out on the little monitor thing or whatever. He said that none of his baby mamas would come over there and come see him, and he had needs and all of this, and the best friend ended up just coming over one day, and they made it. She was the only one that paid him some attention. Another thing was, he always talked about how when he was younger, all the girls would joke him and say he was ugly and he was dirty, and he used to say he couldn't wait to get older and get his money up, and he was gonna go back and get it every beat that ever did him dirty. When I first met him, he told me he was 35. He used to do so much for me that I decided I was going to book him a flight to go to Vegas one day. And he sent me a picture of his ID. I found out he was 42. So yeah, he was just a fraud. But I don't talk to him. I don't talk to her. And about the whole everybody going back and forth to prison. Listen, everybody come from different walks of life. I'm really transparent with my life. I don't mind sharing my stories or none of that, because like the Renner Center story, for example, that Renner Center story can help an 18-year-old girl out here to not make the same mistake that I did.
I love that.
This story with my niece and my ex-dude also helped somebody as well. Like, I don't care who in the bind. Don't put nobody on to your man. And as far as jail goes, listen, your life is what you make it. And your outcomes will depend on what you surround yourself around and the people that you surround yourself around. So if you surround yourself around people that's in and out of jail, you 9 times out of 10 you going to jail. You surround yourself around people that's scheming and scamming, 9 times out of 10 you gonna become a scammer. So that's what I was surrounding myself around at the time. Everybody was scammers. Everybody was doing something that wasn't right. Everybody was in and out of jail. So guess where I was at? In and out of jail. I went to prison when I was 25. I got out when I was 29. I'm 31 now. I've been home for 2 years. I wouldn't dare go back there. Ain't no amount of money, none of that. It's worth the time that they took away from me. All of that in there, somebody telling you when to eat, sleep, using the bathroom, how them girls, they coochie stinking, like being on a bus, going in transit, on a plane in handcuffs. Like, nobody could never pay me to go back there. Fighting over the telephone, like, never.
And what did we learn today? That you cannot trust nobody around your man. Not even your niece, not even your family. No, I'm just saying, I don't know if we learned that, but I do know for sure it's very important to pay attention to the signs. Very important to really know who you messing with. And for the dude to be 41 years old, lying about his age, come on now, sir. Come on, be a grown up. And her saying that he was the type of dude who said, when I get older, when I grow up, I'm gonna be able to do this, that, and the third. I'm gonna look so fine. I'm gonna get all the bitches. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Oh, that's another red flag. That means you need a lot of attention. You need a lot of stimulation to say, you're doing a good job. You're doing so good, because you didn't get it as a child. Now you want to get it growing up. No, sir. Grow up. Find your own confidence. Invest in yourself. It ain't that hard. Everybody had a hard childhood. At least in the neighborhood, I know that a lot of us had a hard childhood. We didn't come from money. We were excited to be able to get cute little clothes or cute little trinkets or whatever extra outside of the routine school shopping and stuff like that. So everybody had it hard, or everybody got picked on in school. I know I did. I didn't grow up and think to myself, oh yeah, I'm about to be knocking down dudes left and right and show them, you don't ever call me a deaf mute girl because I don't talk in class. We all got that same sad sob story, so miss me with that. I don't like when people be using their childhood as the reason why they feel like they gotta be a hoe now. No, that ain't an excuse. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have been the Just Kason brand. I am so sorry that the video quality changed. My stupid phone died. Y'all know I'm still working on getting some new tools to make it easier for me to shoot and everything like that, and my phone was like, forget you, girl. I'm turning off. I don't care if I'm charged. I am turning off. I said, okay, iPhone. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to like the video. Comment your thoughts down below. If you have not subscribed to the Neighborhood, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.